Hey guys, it's Rich with your Monday spot on the Pagan Perspective. This week we're talking about pagan artistry. This one comes from Alicia. I believe that's how it's pronounced. I'm not sure, and I'm just going to move on from that. If I mispronounce it, I'm sorry. They write, I'm a pagan author and playwright and would love to connect with fellow witchy artists. Do you participate in the creative arts in your practice as a hobby or professionally or all three? I personally don't. I have this nagging novel that has been rattling around in my brain for years, and I've wanted to do NaNoWriMo last year, and I wanted to do it this year, and it just doesn't look like, due to the scheduling conflicts, that I can actually give it the time it deserves. It's something that I really want to do, but due to other life issues that, again, I plan on making a video for my personal channel and just haven't gotten around to yet, that isn't quite capable of happening right now. So I do it more as a hobby. I don't really use it in my practice as in writing for my practice or anything. I would like to write some more in my practice. I certainly write for my own spells. I'll take other people's spells and I'll reword them for myself, or I'll come up with something from scratch. That's something that I personally do for my own spellcrafting. So I guess you can say that's part of my practice and in part a hobby. I don't do it professionally, but I would like to. Being a freelance writer is something that I wanted to do whenever I was in high school, and then it just seemed like, it's so tough to get into the market that it just didn't really become a thing. Anyway, given the negative stereotypes that have persisted with both historic and modern pagans in pop culture over the years, how would you like to see pagan visual arts, musicians, writers, etc. debunk those stereotypes in their own work? I would really like to see them be more accurate to how, even in the most common sense, that people actually utilize their practice, especially in the visual arts, such as movies, TV, and whatnot. And I'm sorry for the shakiness of the camera. But as a Mason, I watch things on, the Masons and whatnot, such as, like, I'm going to use a really quick example here of National Treasure. I watched that movie and I'm like, yeah, that's true, but that's definitely not true. And, I watch things like that and I see so much wrong with it, but I also understand they need it because that's the movie they're making. So I do understand why they do what they do, but I would like to see it more accurate to even a broad picture, such as you can't cover all pagan aspects in one movie, saying, well, this, practice always does this. That's not always true, because there's always going to be somebody out there that changes their practice in some way, shape, or form that it becomes inaccurate for them in their practice. And that I can understand. It depends on the movie that they're making, or the type of book that they're writing, or the type of music that they're making. It all depends on what you can use to fit your narrative, and that I understand. So if you have an evil witch, you have to have them do certain things that modern pagans would probably frown upon. So in that case, I can understand it, but I would like to see something a little bit more truthful out there that paints pagans and witches alike in a positive sense. So in that aspect, I would like to see something a little bit more accurate that would debunk the evilness that has been portrayed, especially in the past. They go on to write, in other words, how important do you think the creative arts are to paganism, and how can they best serve the community? And I think I already pretty much covered that. I think it is important to accurately portray certain things in the visual arts or in writing and whatnot. So I think it is important, but I don't think you're always going to get the satisfaction that you really strive for whenever it comes to this type of stuff. So they go on to say, and lastly, what are some of your professional favorite pagan or pagan themed books, films, and artists of all disciplines? Keep up the wonderful work with the channel, and blessed be. I really don't have that many favorites that are specifically pagan. I more gravitate towards people who make YouTube videos, which is an art all in itself. You have some people out there that make wonderfully done videos. One of them that comes to mind right now is Hellbound Heathen. Lilokin does a wonderful job on his videos, and I think it's important to give kudos to the artistry that it entails. Whether you watch his videos or not, you have to admire that there is so much time and effort that has gone into these videos, that he really does care about the quality of his work. So that's one way that I would see, a pagan themed artist at work is in those videos. He puts quality into his work, and he doesn't skimp on the little details here and there. So I think that is more where my focus goes. I don't really read that many books that have a pagan theme to them. I read a lot more nonfiction than fiction. Right now, I'm actually listening to, on Audible, the Harry Potter series. So I don't really think I would consider that pagan themed. Excuse me. As far as films, I don't really watch that many films that are pagan themed. I'm more of the criminal justice type of genre, I guess you would say. Right now, on another screen on my laptop here, I have Criminal Minds ready to play. So, yeah. I actually enjoy watching some of the criminal process and the justice process, even though that is greatly stretched out beyond the actual reality of it, and that I understand. It's still entertaining to me. So whenever I come up against something like the show The Magicians, which is one that I enjoy, but it's not something that I put a lot of stock into, because again, that's the theme that we're going with. That's the world that we're creating here. That's not really a pagan theme. So with that, I understand, and I allow that leeway with it. If they were making something that was more to the pagan Coda, please, Daddy's making a video, thank you. If they were making something that was a little bit more hard hitting towards the pagan community, I would expect them to do a little bit more accurate of work than what they actually do, because I see the world that they're creating, and I understand why they're saying some of the things that they say in there. So I can understand that. Let's see. As far as favorites, let's see, artists that are pagan, I don't really listen to much music that is pagan themed. I don't, at least I have listened to some, and I enjoy the works of like Kellyanna and whatnot, but I don't really ever listen to the radio. I don't really buy CDs specifically of certain people, and I probably should branch out more and find more of those artists out there. But Kellyanna is one that I know that comes to mind, and I love their work. So I do enjoy listening to pagan artists. It's just that I don't really have the exposure that I probably should go out and have, in order to intelligently speak on it. So I hope my little tiny bit of knowledge, the amount to fill a thimble, is helpful to you. And I think it is important for accuracy, but I understand it whenever there isn't any. But I would love to see more accurate portrayals of paganism in, especially the visual arts, or in books, books, movies, stuff like that. Again, music, don't listen to a lot of music. And when I do, it's a lot of times like the older rock, or older easy listening, like Frank Sinatra and, the Rat Pack. Johnny Cash, of course, a favorite of mine. And yeah, I think that's all I have for this video. So I'm gonna wrap it up. I'll catch you all next week. I do apologize that these videos have been coming up late, and hopefully that will change shortly. And actually my background will also change because I might be doing my video somewhere else. So anyway, that's all I have for this week. Until next week, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.